Well, hi folks, and thanks for watching the video. Now, this is my main rig. It is a Hackintosh. It has 7 operating systems currently installed, 5 of which are Linux distributions, has Windows 10 and Mac OS Sierra. Now, from the 7 operating systems, the plan was to use a 750 gig Seagate spinner, a spinning hard drive, as the main data repository. That works great in Windows. It works okay in some of the other Linux distros, but it doesn't work in all of them. Mac OS Sierra mounts it in a read-only fashion, so I can't write to it. Some of the other Linux distros can't mount it at all, and others only can read only from it. So that solution is not working. So as a workaround, I've decided to bring in the use of another computer I have. Now this is my Black Beauty project. You may or may not have seen some of the other videos I did about it. It is a 3 gig Pentium D with 2 gigs of RAM and a 750 gig hard drive. This computer, its main purpose was to run the TV here as a way to play Netflix or YouTube or music or whatever through the, or maybe even some DVDs through the home office television set. And so I installed Arch with the Deepin desktop because I really love the Deepin desktop, but I wasn't a real big fan of the Deepin operating system. And I actually think installing Arch is fun, so I kind of like the idea of putting the Deepin desktop on an Arch system, so I did it. Then later I decided that I wanted a file server, so I added that to that. So that's how we ended up with an Arch file server. Yeah, there probably could have been some other choices made. I won't say better. But this particular one uses the long-term support kernel. That's going to make it more stable. It's got a GT 9500 video card in it, and that's how that ended up implementing the long-term support kernel, by using an older video driver. So, that all being what it is, I'd like to show you how I can use the file server in a multi-operating system project. So, without further ado, we'll switch to a screen recorder, and we'll go through a little project here where we make little video clips and add them to the file server. And then each successive, that's a good word, successive operating system will add another video clip to our file on the server, and we'll eventually combine it all into making the video you're watching right now. So if you want to follow along, I'll show you how we do that. And we'll continue with the screen recorder. Here we are in Windows 10. Like I say, this rig is pretty neat. I built it for the idea of being a multi-boot machine. And let's go ahead and have a look at the file manager here, File Explorer. So here we are. It's right here in the network under Black Beauty right here. And as you can see, I can create a new folder, I can add to it, I can read from it, all that good stuff that you need to do. And so that's pretty cool. Yeah. So this is the Windows 10 part of the demo. Alright, so here we are in OpenSUSE. See the terminal here. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is indeed OpenSUSE 42.2 Leap. Anyway, so let's see if we can get to our file server from here. Alright, we just go to other locations, and from there we just go SMB, and it auto completes, and you just click connect. Alright, and so there are the files, the folders available to us on the server, and then we just go to videos. Okay, register user, put my password, connect. Okay, and we made a folder. It had something to do with file server or something like that. Here we are. So yeah, we made this with Windows, and there is the Windows 10 portion of our video here. So I'll be saving this section, and when I come to the next part in the next operating system, well, there should be 2 files in there. And so there is your little identifier there, Mac OS Sierra. And let's see what we can do to connect to our server here. So we go over here, and capture the window, we go over here where it says go, and connect to server. And we click connect. And it says select the volumes you want to mount. Well, we'll go ahead and select all of them. And we have them mounted. Now if we look over here, we can go right here where it says shared, or across the tabs at the top here. So let's go in the videos, and we will look for the file we created originally in Windows. And there it is. It said file server. And there's our Windows 10 portion of the video, and here's the OpenSUSE portion of the video. And we'll be ready to add our Mac OS Sierra portion. I can drag it over here. And I can drag this over here. So this is the movies folder in Mac OS Sierra. This is the file server on Black Beauty. And so we will just drag this one right over here. Boing, it's all done. And then we can rename it to something a little more. We'll just call this Mac. And there you have it. Here we are in CentOS 7, and let's see if we can access our file server from here, shall we? And so let's see, here's our file manager. There we go. So rather than play around trying to do the browse the network, okay, we're just going to connect to the server. And so we'll see here, we got a recent server right here. So that's our server. We'll connect. And here we are. So if we look in our videos, we can find our media server. No, it was a file server. Here, there's the C. Oh, here it is, file server. Yes, so here we are. There's the first one we did was in Windows 10. Second one, OpenSUSE. Third was Mac. And then I videoed where I dropped the file in here. So that's the second Mac one. And then here we are making one in CentOS 7. So anyway, I'm going to open a new window. Here we are. And so we got our file server and this one here on the left. On the right, I got my home folder, and here's the videos we're working on right now. That's the one I just finished right here. And this is the one that's recording right this second. So without further ado, we will take this one and we will drop it yeah, we'll just drop it right here. And see, that's that simple to move files to the server. And that's done. And we can rename that. Yeah, we'll call it, well, it's going to be 5. And then it's going to be CentOS. And that'll do. So after I finish, after I press stop, I'll go ahead and move this other file over. And I'll rename it. And we'll see you in the next OS. Alright, well here we are in Ubuntu Mate. But I've added the Budgie desktop. So, you know, technically it's Ubuntu Mate. However, it also has the Budgie desktop installed. Alright, so let's figure out where our files are. Here we are. And so if we go over here, and then we go down here to connect to server, similar to what we had in CentOS, it's already filled for us, so we just click connect. And there are our folders from our Windows shares. Alright, and so if we go to videos, and we'll connect as a registered user. And I can say remember forever from this operating system on this computer. Alright, and there's our file server folder. And as you can see, we got our previous folders. Alright, and so we'll open a new window. Here we are. Yeah. Okay, good. Alright, and then we can go, I guess that's going to be in videos. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so there's our video that's in progress. There we go. So the first one is done, and we'll be dropping it over here. And see, that dropped right in. And we can rename it. Okay, and we'll rename that to 7 and Ubuntu 1. Okay. Alrighty, so I'll drop this other video that's in the works right now, and I'll see you in the next OS. Alright, so then we can repeat the process in Arch Linux. Connect to the server. Log in. Alright. There's our files. Now we'll move the video recording we made here in Arch onto the file server to add to our collection. Okay. Rename it. And that's done. Repeat those steps in Red Hat Linux. And we're done. Alright, so here we are back where we started. Here in Windows 10. And here's the file Windows Explorer or whatever it is. Anyway, File Explorer in Windows. These are all the files we created through this project. I've already converted some of them. Like, it depends on your settings and which codecs you have loaded or whatever, what's going to work better. So some of the operating systems have codecs that allow them to use, like Windows uses the FLV format. It's a little smaller format. So I use it in Windows. It seems to work quite well, especially after being converted to MP4 to be used in like an editor, like say Windows Movie Maker. So I use Handbrake, which is right here. Yeah, I use Handbrake on them, and I'll convert them to an MP4 so that I can edit them in Windows Movie Maker. There are more complex video editors, but I find that for what I'm doing most of the time, Windows Movie Maker fulfills my needs. So anyway, that's what I use for most of my stuff. Now, sometimes you'll want to do something that's multi-layered and all that, and for that you can use Kdenlive, or if you want a proprietary one, I've got I have Adobe Premiere Pro over here. Yeah, I haven't started it since I updated it, so it's wanting me to accept my license agreement. So, you know, this is a beast of a program, and it's a lot more complex to use. And for a simple project, it's just not worth the effort, not to me. So I'll just use my Handbrake to convert the files, and then I drop them in here. And speaking of such, everything that you've seen up to this point in the video is already in this editor. So all I have to do now is drop the conclusion and it'll be done. So anyway, this pretty much shows how I can now have a way to work where all my operating systems can work together to create content or whatever. Whatever I can build or make or do in any of my operating systems, I can now pick it up in another one and work with it. And that is all I ever wanted out of this multi-boot machine. So I had to bring in a little help from Black Beauty, but you know what? I'm going to call it a successful completion of the goal. Hey, thanks for watching my video, and I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Give me a like if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Comments, questions are always welcome. Hey, y'all take care. We'll see you later.